Coming up on CityView, the City of Austin is partnering with other local agencies to help make walking to neighborhood schools safer. Plus, some city officials take a dip in Barton Springs Pool for a good cause. And low-flow shower heads that are easy to install water savers are now saving away at the city's most popular swimming holes. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Those stories and more coming up. But first, a rare underwater inspection of the 50-year-old Longhorn Dam at Lady Bird Lake was recently completed. Commercial divers used underwater lighting gear and cameras to carefully record the condition of the foundation and lift gates of this iconic structure. The dam, which is maintained by Austin Energy, was originally built in 1960 to provide a reservoir of water for the operation of the Holly Power Plant. The plant was closed in 2007. Austin Energy has always maintained the dam and is now giving the structure an extra thorough examination to prepare for the future.
From what we've seen so far, there's no real structural issues with the dam. There's no risk of failure. And the issues we've identified so far are it's pretty much replacing equipment that's been in service for 50 years.
With the Holly Power Plant now closed, there's no longer a need for Austin Energy to continue to manage the dam. The utility hopes to begin discussions with the Lower Colorado River Authority about assuming ownership of the structure. From the Longhorn Dam to Austin's roadways, the two inner southbound lanes on South Congress from Riverside Drive to James Street will be cordoned off for about 5 months, while the wastewater line serving the area is upgraded. During this time, message boards will help direct traffic, and all businesses and residences will remain accessible. The upgraded wastewater line will be sized to accommodate the tremendous amount of growth along South Congress Avenue. Crews will work daily from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. Construction is expected to be completed by the end of June 2011.
Thefts of copper and other recyclable metals are on the rise as the price of those items increases. So the Austin City Council has approved an ordinance that gives police a way to better investigate theft cases and strengthen enforcement. The ordinance will not affect the way you can sell scrap metal, but it will require that metal recyclers get permits and air conditioning professionals be licensed to sell AC units or components which are often stolen. Also, no outside metal recycling business can drive into Austin and purchase recycled materials without a permit from the city. There's more information on item 28 from the August 26th council meeting agenda, which is available at the city's website under City Government. The City Council is also taking a look at utility rates. Council has awarded contracts for a rate study for Austin Energy. Once the study is complete, Council is expected to approve new electric rates in September of 2012. The rates would affect residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Meanwhile, Council voted to renew a contract that provides customers with an online energy audit. Once an Austin Energy customer enters their home or business data, the online tool helps customers identify how they're using energy and how they can reduce energy consumption and their energy bill. You can find the tool online at austinenergy.com, then click Energy Efficiency and look under Tools and Tips. And Council voted to nominate Samsung Semiconductor as a triple jumbo enterprise project. It's a special designation from the state of Texas that would make Samsung eligible for state tax rebates and refunds. Council determined Samsung deserved that designation because it's planning to expand its facility in Northeast Austin. Samsung is investing $3.6 billion in the project. In all, Council considered 90 items at its August 26th meeting. Its next regularly scheduled meeting is September 23rd. For CityView, I'm Larry Schooler.
And just in time for the start of school, Austin Travis County Health and Human Services and the city's Code Compliance Department have organized Operation Clean Sweep, a community effort to increase the safety of kids walking and biking to school. As part of this effort, a back-to-school cleanup took place in the surrounding neighborhoods and on the grounds of 4 East Austin schools.
Yeah, we should put some of that in bags.
Today we are doing a back-to-school cleanup around 4 East Austin schools for Austin Safe Routes to School. So we have about 100 volunteers out here today from Great Hills Baptist Church and River City Hope Street, and they are cleaning up the routes to school so that kids who walk and bike to school can have cleaner and safer ways to walk and bike.
We've broken up into different groups and gone into some of the different neighborhoods here in East Austin. And we're doing cleanup at school grounds and routes to and from school, just to sort of make the neighborhoods safe and easy for the kids to travel back and forth when school starts.
So this cleanup this weekend is part of a much bigger effort called Operation Clean Sweep. And for that operation, the Code Compliance Department has opened over 120 new cases around our schools in this program to try to clean up the routes around those schools and do a safety sweep.
It's an opportunity for groups like ours to reach out to our community and be involved and not just take from the community, but also for people who might not have the means or the capability or the abilities to get out and take care of their own yards, senior citizens or that kind of thing, that might just need a little help but aren't really comfortable reaching out and asking for it.
Other city departments assisting with Operation Clean Sweep include Police, Parks and Recreation, and Public Works. For the 5th year in a row, the mayor, Austin City Council members, and other elected officials rolled up their sleeves to help scrub algae and silt from Barton Springs Pool. The annual event is hosted by the Friends of Barton Springs Pool and has become an Austin tradition to help raise awareness about what it takes to keep the pool in great shape. On the same day, the group was presented with a $300,000 check from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to be used to repair the bypass tunnel used to divert creek water around the pool.
Parks are a part of the culture and the life of the city.
Welcome to the 5th annual Council Cleans the Pool Day.
We're placing fire hoses along the side of the deck so we can get into the pool and blow out the sediment that collects along the bottom of its natural bottom. It's usually through the day on Thursday when we clean. We start in the morning and everyone takes a rotation on the fire hose, and it takes a good portion of the day to make it the length of the pool that we do blast.
This is my neighborhood pool when I was a kid, riding my bike down here in the summertime, and didn't think it was anything special. Just a nice neighborhood pool. I thought everybody had a pool just like this, and after I grew up, I found out it was one of the most unique places in Texas, if not the country.
Well, I must be doing something right. It's getting late.
Well, that must be working. Everybody kept saying, you need to go to Barton Springs Pool, you need to go to Barton Springs Pool. And I remember very distinctly the first time I ever saw it. I was standing right up there and looked out and thought, well, this is a special place. It's not just a swimming hole. It's not just a swimming pool. Barton Springs Pool, in many ways, represents what's best about what we love about this city.
It's been too long. We've been trying to repair this bypass for 2 years, one delay after another. We got some money now, let's do it.
Barton Springs Pool, where else on earth are you this close to a downtown and you have a natural swimming hole that on any given day you can see all aspects of our community coming together and enjoying their home.
The bypass tunnel was built in 1975 and after 35 years has begun to develop leaks and holes. The repair project is part of the Barton Springs Pool Master Plan, which calls for restoring the pool to its original state. Meanwhile, Austin Water Utility is teaming up with the Parks and Recreation Department to reduce water use at the city's swimming facilities. Austin Water is providing and installing 100 low-flow shower heads at city-operated pool facilities. They are estimated to save 250,000 gallons of water over the course of an entire year. A goal of the project is to demonstrate low-flow shower heads to swimmers who may not be familiar with these easy-to-install water savers. The Austin Water Utility also provided and installed faucet aerators in some of the sinks. Faucet aerators mix air with water to reduce the amount of water a fixture puts out, without reducing water pressure. We all know that deer are frequent visitors to some Austin neighborhoods, but remember, don't get caught feeding them within the city limits. A City of Austin ordinance prohibits the intentional feeding of deer, which can create an occasional safety issue and also contributes to deer overpopulation.
The primary reason that the ordinance was enacted is in order to eliminate folks in areas where there are overabundant deer, to discourage as many overabundant deer as possible.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, we recommend against feeding deer in urbanized areas, and that's because it's not good for deer and it's not good for people either. When deer become habituated to people and get closer to people, they may become aggressive towards people.
It's become a public safety issue with them creating traffic hazards, with confrontational situations during the breeding and the fawning seasons.
Especially during the rut, which is when the males are establishing dominance, and during the fawning season when females are protecting their young, deer can become very, very dangerous. And people don't realize that Bambi can actually pack a pretty good punch, but they can. So in order to prevent deer from becoming habituated to human residences, we usually recommend that people provide deer-resistant plants, and those are usually native plants. Those that require very little water and chemicals in order to survive and thrive in our Central Texas environment.
Those caught feeding deer could be charged with a Class C misdemeanor and face fines up to $125. For additional information, please call 972-5692 or visit cityofaustin.org/health. And finally, a bit of local trivia. In the early 1900s, the Asian population in Austin was only about 25. Today, the Asian population in our city is nearing 75,000 strong, which is why the Austin History Center is hosting an exhibit that may be of interest called Pioneers from the East. It features, among other items, photos of the 5 original Asian families that migrated to Austin. Take a look.
We're at the Austin History Center in the reception room. This room has 2 photo exhibits a year, and the current one is called Pioneers from the East, First Chinese Families in Austin. When I first started this job, the charge was to go out and collect as much Asian American history as possible. A lot of people didn't know what the Austin History Center even was. Most of these items, I will say, we have original photographs that they've entrusted us with to preserve. It's never going to leave the protective care of the Austin History Center. This photo exhibit showcases 5 families in Austin that have come here almost 100 years ago and have remained since, and all of these families are currently still living in Austin. In 1875, the Austin census shows that there were only 20 Chinese listed, and most of them were Chinese men in their 20s and 30s. One of the families featured in this photo exhibit is the Tu family. Duke Tu was one of the 100 Chinese pilots that were sent here, and they were on a secret mission to help out the Chinese pilots that were training during World War II. They were needed in order to translate for the Chinese pilots that were going to be used for the mission. What I'd like people to take away by looking at this photo exhibit is that this history has been ongoing, and it's full of rich culture and people's heritage, and that many generations have valued this history, and that we all need to be aware of it and also preserve it the best that we can.
And that's all for this edition of CityView. I'm your host, Leslie Sopko. Our next episode premieres Friday, September 10th. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll come back and see us again.